Hey guys, welcome back. I'm going to be working on this oil tank. I don't know if they call it an oil tank, an oil transfer tank, but what this was is, back in the day, they'd have these at gas stations, and you would fill your jug up, your quart. And I believe it was like a quarter for a quart of oil. So what you would do is you would lift up this lid and put your jar here, and then you would spin this, and it would dispense oil into your jar, and then whatever dripped would drip down back into the oil container, and then obviously they would shut the lid. And this is a dipstick that they had back then, and this would tell the gas station how much oil they still had in the container itself. What I'm going to do is, this lid is riveted on. I'm actually going to cut those rivets, grind the rivet heads off, and pop this door off. Then I'm going to unbolt this pump and get all this off of here, and then I'm going to sand this down and paint it red again. And I'm not putting the decals on or anything like that. There's very minor surface rust, and I think I'm just going to sand it down because it's so minor. And then just epoxy primer those areas, and then just go ahead and paint it red, because there's already red on here as a base, so we can just go right over it with the single stage gloss red and save a bunch of materials and stuff like that. We're not painting a show car or anything like that. We just want to freshen it up and make it look new again. So I'm going to grab some goggles and my cutoff wheel. I'm going to see if I can't grind off these 3 rivets, because I'm going to paint this flap area, this silver. This is all supposed to be black. This tube's supposed to be silver, and the handle's silver. That's how we see a lot of them. So I'm going to kind of make it look like it did originally, as close to as possible. I actually want to see if I can get this tube off with a pipe wrench, because then I could paint this tube. Maybe I'll leave the nozzle area black, paint the tube silver, paint that silver, paint the handle silver, and then this silver. It'll give it a nice good contrast. It should look pretty cool. So I guess we'll start with trying to get that door off, and then I'll grab a pipe wrench and try to get that off, because you want to try to take that off before I unbolt it from the cabinet, because it's going to be a lot easier. Okay, now I want to see if I can get off the pipe on the top of the pump. I only have a big pipe wrench out here. I don't have any small ones out here. So we're going to use the bigger one. And it's spinning the whole pipe. Probably going to need a second pipe wrench, or I can put this on the pipe and see if I have a wrench or a pair of channel locks to grab this other part here. And I'll look at the picture that he sent me of what he wants it to look like. Now when I put it back together, I'm not going to be able to use a pipe wrench. We'll just hand tighten it pretty good because we'll destroy the paint if we use a pipe wrench. I could have left it together and probably taped it off, but stuff always turns out better if you take it apart. I technically could just go get a piece of galvanized pipe and put it in there too. But then the silver might be will be a different color. So we'll just clean it up and save money. I'm probably going to paint the top of this black and then this whole thing silver, because then that'll stand out when it's sitting in there. So now I got to unbolt the pump. I got to get this handle off. Might as well do that first. Don't know if I have a wrench over here. Probably not. Because might as well get off everything that you need to while it's anchored to something secure. Alright, I gotta go find a wrench for that. 7/8. This is an old wooden handle. We'll clean it up and probably just spray paint it black again. It was originally black. Question is can I get it out of there? It actually looks like it's threaded in there. Walk back and forth 100 times getting tools. Yep, it's threaded in. What size is this? 9/16. Really? Oh yeah, that's stuck. Oh, dude, that thing's like 3 inches freaking long. Literally. My arm's gonna fall off. I might just get a new, if I can find a flathead bolt that size. If not, I'll paint it silver. That was a long one. I think I want to paint these 4 bolts silver, because then it looks like it was really taken apart and done right. That looks like a 7/16 maybe. I'm going to use that silver Krylon exhaust paint because it's a non-metallic silver and it looks good. And I'll probably clear over it with some automotive clear coat gloss, and it'll make it look pretty damn good. Almost went inside. Almost had to go fishing for it. And when we bolt it back together, if I chip the paint a little bit, we'll just brush touch it. I mean, there's really only so much you can do. It'd be nice to have new bolts, but these are very weird bolts, and you'll never find them. The piston ring is completely gone. So now we can take off these 4 bolts here, which are 99/16. I think I'm going to need a wrench for those. And there's a nut on the inside. Yep, let me grab a 9/16. ½ inch on the top, 5/8 on the bottom. These ones I think I'm going to replace. Oh, that one's a different size. And drop the nut in there. So it looks like the last one is a 9/16 underneath. Oh well, it's gone. So I peeled the stickers off yesterday. I just did that off camera because it was boring. And there's a little bit of residue left from the stickers on the paint. Now I could sand it off, but I'm going to see if some brake cleaner will take off the residue. It's not all of it, just in spots. Looks like it's working. Alright, I'm going to work on the residue on the other two sides, and then we'll hit all this with some 80 grit to get the rust off. And then, like I said, this is very minor. I'm just going to sand it and paint it. I'll just put epoxy primer on some of the spots, and then to save material, because I don't have a full quart of red, we'll just hit the spots that need that are bare metal with epoxy primer before I paint. And we'll leave the rest of the red on there. Okay, I'm gonna sit here and sand this all down with 320. I already did the one side and the top, and then I'll come back and I'll have it all blown off and everything. We're gonna get it painted today. As you can see, I got rid of all the rust just by using a couple different wheels. They work really good. This wire wheel works good for small areas. So, all right, I'm gonna get this all 320 down, and then we can get it hung up in the spray booth and get this thing painted. Okay, I've been warming it up because it actually felt pretty cold. It's feeling better now. Maybe another couple minutes. I still have to wipe it off, and then I have some epoxy primer mixed up here, and I'm only going to put it on the bare metal spots, nowhere else. And then we're going to go over it with this red. I actually mixed a couple reds together in order to get enough red. It's not like it needs to be a specific color or anything like that, but this is the red, which is real close to what was on there. So as far as wiping it off, I'll show you how I'm going to do that. I'm actually going to use quite a bit of wax and grease remover, and I'm going to saturate it and let it run down onto the paper. The reason being, because obviously this had oil in it for a long time, and I'm hoping to not get fish eyes. Now, I put this on a rollering cart so that after I paint it, a little while after I paint it, I can move it out and then paint the black parts and stuff. Then tomorrow I can just put this thing together and I'm done with it. So I'm going to pump this up. This has Prepol wax and grease remover, and I'm going to just saturate this really good and literally let it run down the sides. with some window cleaner. I'm going to use this old towel for the top and then get a new towel for the sides. This still took more red off. So now I'm going to mix up a little bit of this epoxy primer, just enough to cover the bare metal. So I'm only going to mix up a couple ounces. This is a direct to metal epoxy primer made by Speedy Coat. So I'm going to get that mixed up. We're going to go out there, hit the bare metal spots, let it set for 10 minutes, and then we'll be ready to put on probably 2 coats of red. Okay, treat your single stage paint as if it were clear. See how it's a little bit dull, a little bit orange peeled? That's what you want. You want to let that set for a good 10 minutes, 15 minutes, depending on your temperature, and then put your second coat on a lot heavier, and what that will do is flatten it out for you and should give you a real nice finish. All right, looks real good. Let this dry for a little bit, and then I'm going to start sanding the black parts and the silver parts next. Okay, I'm going to sand all these parts off camera. I found the original tag and I used my wire wheel. So I'm going to see if I can get the rivets off, and then I can put it back on afterwards. I might just have to, you know, double side tape it on or something. But it's pretty cool that it's still there, and you can actually read the writing. Probably not right now with the angle that it's at. But I'm gonna get these prepped, and then we can get this stuff painted. Okay, I got everything sanded down, and then I was thinking about this handle. I think I'm gonna sand it. So I put a bolt through here, and this nut is just a spacer because it didn't have threads all the way through. And then I'm gonna sand this and see what it looks like. That looks pretty cool. was like full of oil. I think I'm just gonna leave it like that. I think that looks really cool. Rather than painting it black, I'm gonna sand it a little bit more. Let me sand it a little bit more and then I'll be back. Okay, I think that looks cool. Just leave it kind of like that. So, all right, I'm gonna get that red box out of there and get all these parts hung up. Okay, I have some more epoxy primer mixed up. This is the silver I'm gonna be using. And then we'll put a little bit of clear over top. I'm going to put epoxy on everything, and then I've already wiped it all down with the wax and grease remover and everything. I'm going to put the epoxy on, then I'm going to do the black, and then I'm going to do the silver, because I put the silver closest to the filters so that whatever black overspray will land on the silver parts, and then I'll paint the silver parts, and we don't have to worry about getting anything on the black. Everything looks good. And here's the oil tank itself. Tomorrow I'll put it all back together, and then I'll be done with this project. I did save the, I was able to get this off and clean it up. Hard to see the writing on the camera, but it has the number and everything on it. Also, my winch came that's going to be mounted to the ceiling to lift truck beds and bodies and stuff like that. Haven't even opened it yet. Yeah, it's cordless. It has a cordless remote, I believe. It's supposed to be. But it's all packed in there really well. I don't feel like taking it out right now. Alright guys, that's going to end this video. Tomorrow we will put it back together. And then be on to the next one. Going to be painting those wheel skirts later this week. I'm waiting for the single stage paint to come because I just want to paint it with single stage black. And I'm waiting on the moldings and stuff to come for that so I can put it together. But other than that, guys, that's it. We'll put the oil pump together tomorrow and we'll get to see what it looks like all finished. Thanks for watching, guys. Any questions or comments, feel free to ask. If you wouldn't mind hitting a thumbs up, I appreciate it. Other than that, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching.